So yeah, so this is it to the color, where you see the fall and winter will be the greens, the blues, and the kind of purples. That's fall and winter. And the reds and the orange and the yellows are more the spring and summer. So here you see, this is just showing the same, the freedom, the daylight is greater below, and the darkness, the nighttime is greater above in the fall and winter. And you can see the colors coincide with that. Music will coincide. There's different scales of music that will fit around this. I'm just working with the color right now to just have it as a backup. Anytime you see a painting with a certain color in it that's outstanding, that color is a sign of the zodiac. And all of its meaning is there. Originally in the old Tibetan mandalas or tankas, the colors were the zodiac, and they express these meanings far better. Words could never express it well enough. So when you put these two together, we get a picture of the 4 seasons. And this takes the 4 quarters of the year. It takes these 4 points, longest day, longest night, and the halfway points when the day and night are equal. Okay, so the day and night is equal at March 20th and at September 23rd. Technically, there's 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. But there is a difference, because in March, the daylight is going from being equal to being more daylight. That's a totally different feeling and experience than in the fall, when the daylight and darkness is even, but it's becoming darker. So one you're feeling, wow, suddenly it's springtime. The other is, wow, it's getting dark fast. It's getting colder. You start to see the different changes from different sides. So when you put these two together, you get 4 distinct descriptions or definitions of the seasons. And this is the foundation. Before you even add what sign of the zodiac is someone is, that sign of the zodiac is first a part of these seasons. And you have to see the seasons first to have the right perspective and to be able to guide someone properly. So we have half of the year. Like if you look at if you look at winter, it starts on the inside, it says daylight is increasing, but darkness is greater. So it's true, there's more darkness. The daylight, it started December 21st, the light is starting to grow. It's just at the darkest moment, it's just the sun's beginning to come further north. It's just, the light's just beginning to slowly increase. 3 days into this, by December 25th, you can see that the sun is returning north, and that's the birth of the child of light coming in, which ascends by the time you get to Easter, which is born again at the time of Easter and ascends up to the highest point in the sky. So the story of Christ, and has a unique parallel to the zodiac and to the sequence of the zodiac, and this process of light unfolding and building up until the whole world is full of light, till it reaches its maximum light. And then there's a whole poetry that goes, and the meanings that go in on that have gone more mystically as well. But these 4 divisions, December 22nd, June 21st, they divide the year that 1/2 the daylight is increasing. No matter what's going on, the daylight is increasing. It's divided in half. So for winter, the daylight's increasing, but darkness is greater. So you have freedom is increasing. People want to be more free, but responsibilities and the teamwork is greater. We have too many responsibilities to be totally free. So we try to get our moments. Or one day we'll be free. But when you get to springtime, you have the daylight increasing and daylight is greater. Then you have the people who are trying to be more independent and more free, and they're more independent and free to start with, but they want more freedom. The Aries, Taurus, Gemini. That's why they can seem so obnoxious to the team or the group, because they're just blatantly doing their own thing. And when it's not there, they'll blatantly walk away from it or complain. But when in the fall and the summer and fall, for the inside you see the broken line here, darkness is increasing from June 21st all the way up to December 26th. So anything that happens, it's moving towards greater responsibility or involvement with other people, or more people are more and more involved with you. And there's more sensitivity, more responsibility demanded. So in the summer, the darkness is increasing, so the sense of responsibility is growing, but daylight is greater. So I'm doing my own thing, I'm having a good time. oh, so the fall will come, I'll get back to school, but you're being more independent, but you can sense these responsibilities coming in. For a kid, it's the end of the summer, and they got to get ready to get back to school. But by the time you hit September 23rd, you have the beginning of fall, which is darkness is increasing and darkness is greater. So their responsibilities and teamwork is more important, and it's increasing, not getting more. So in one way, if you're a strong individual, it looks like being part of the group is being weak. Another way, if you're part of the team, strong independence looks like it's not fitting in and it's not a good thing. And the team is much greater. The sum is greater than the parts. So all life is a mixture of how much independence and how much belonging, how much freedom, how much responsibility. And it's our cycle. We have our own balance of how much of each of these is normal, how much we can deal with. If it goes too much in one way, then we're having trouble dealing with it. We can't do it for that long. We begin to get into the mechanics of understanding behavior to the signs of the zodiac and the seasons. You know, many wintry people don't like the hot sun in the summer. Many summery people can't stand the winter. So it's in our language, it's in our way of expression. But when we're coming to astrology, we're looking at it a little more clearly and distinctly. And we're seeing these we're just giving importance to the seasons of the year. The zodiac, there are different zodiacs. There are zodiacs that are the stars in the sky that the astronomers use or that Vedic astrologers use. But if you're interpreting the stars in the sky, you shouldn't be interpreting the seasons. They're more mythological or symbolical or mathematically interpreted. But here, when we're measuring the light and darkness around the earth, hitting the earth, we're measuring the seasons and the temperature. We plant our crops by it. We grow. We live by this cycle. It's the basic cycle of life. Cut that off, and we're not going to be here. We're not going to live. So it's the standard of what's normal. So if you're born around the equator, you're not going to see the four seasons so much. You see wet and dark. You know, they could be wet and dry, hot, cold, hot and cold, wet and dry. But the cycle will still be there, not so exaggerated, but it'll still be there. And technically, just like a wind, a tornado can't really go across the equator. It gets the equator and blows up and stops. If it ends up going across the equator, it's doing the reverse spin, and it's 10 times milder, so a big storm can't cross the equator. So the same way, this energy is different on each side of the equator. Someone born on one side, someone born in March in the northern hemisphere is the Aries with the daylight increasing. Someone born in the southern hemisphere in the fall, it's fall in March, and the nighttime is increasing, and that's the Libra phase. Okay, so this is, in the southern hemisphere, most of the astrology books are written in the north, and the majority of people aren't using it properly. They do the northern hemisphere chart even for the southern hemisphere people because they're just doing it numerologically. They're not connecting it to nature like this, and they're not able to tune in and give people really proper advice. Okay, the magic is, though, even within the numbers and that, there's still a lot of good advice one could give someone, but if you can tune in completely and make it, what's going to fulfill you, what's going to fill up your heart, what's going to complete your life, you need to be in touch with the seasons, and you need to be in touch with this light and dark force, and eventually it needs to take you back to the point of your inner being. But until then, we're running out in the world trying to experience this trying to experience all these degrees, all these sections of the zodiac, all these seasons in our own way, every way. What do you do this season? What do you do this summer? What do you do this fall? Like, what am I going to do? We set up our plans around this, or we don't, and we just wing it. But this pattern is noticeably there, and this is the fabric of the zodiac. When you see it, it'll never go away. You don't have to memorize it. You just look. You see it very clearly. Take the people you know. Are they I, me, or we, us people? Are they trying to get more independent? Or more? Take all the we, us people you know, and see who's trying to be more independent and who's trying to belong more, and you'll see that attitude played out in how they have their relationships or don't have. So on this very simple level, why am I being like this? Why is my partner being like this? You can be with anybody as long as you're not trying to change their basic behavior. There's a certain point where we say, oh, they posted that way, and you got to let them be that. But if each person is trying to change the other person's behavior, then it's a darker storm. So, okay, it's always useful to come back, go over these foundations. I've been teaching this for almost 45 years, and by going over it every season almost, going over it again and again over the years, this has just grown into be just so normal to me. So these are good friends. You want to keep them as your primary friends in the zodiac to distinguish not just what a sign is, but the direction of how much freedom is someone moving towards freedom or moving towards being responsible or belonging. Does someone want to do their own thing, or does someone is looking for the perfect partner? If you're trying to be just blatantly your own I, me self, or you're trying to be the we, us self. So these they're two different categories. When they come together, they make the 4 seasons, and each season has a different style. So let's see.